Hello everybody, this is T with Kate's Crafty Closet. I know it has been a while. It's been 2022 was not the greatest for me, so I hope 2023 is going to be much better. So this year, I'm going to do a challenge. It's the hashtag 52 pickup, which is taking playing cards and altering them. And we're going to use positivity prompts to empower you, to make you feel just for one moment. And I'm doing this personally for myself, but I figured I would, invite others to come along. We do have kits available on the website. I will link everything in the description box below as far as that is concerned. We do have a download for the things that you put on the back of your cards, and we have the words. We have extra words in there where there's blank ones and a place for you to put a date and some notes, whether, week one and something you might want to add, why the word fabulous means something to you, or anything of that nature. So what I went ahead and did is I took my whole deck and I just chalk painted them with some white chalk paint. And we also, in the kit, you get this little box that you can decorate and put together and store your cards in. So it'll hold all 52 cards with a lot of room. So if you have bulky ones, it'll make do, but I put 2 boxes in the kits for you to put together and decorate and have in your stash. So first things first is I'm just going to randomly pick one. And today's word is motivated. That's a good one. For me, motivated. Sometimes just doing this video, I had to motivate myself to do it because I was supposed to start in the beginning of the year and a lot of things have happened. I just got some kits out that were ordered, so I'm behind. So normally I'm gonna do these videos on Friday. This is week 2, so week 1 is coming out today. Week 2 tomorrow, and next week, week 3 will be scheduled on Fridays. So every Friday for the remainder of the year, we're going to do things. And I will do the best that I can to link any kind of products that are available out there that I use in the video. And if I can't, I'll probably try to do my best to do alternatives as well. So today, I'm not putting themes out there ahead of time. I am going to do themes for myself. You can follow along with the theme, but you don't have to. But make sure wherever you post these things, hashtag 52 pickup, so we can see your projects and stuff like that. It may be something special at the end of the year, so stay tuned for that. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I have these gel crayons that I bought quite some time ago at Target. I don't know if they're still available, but replacements for these are definitely your Distress crayons or any other scribble sticks from Dina Wakley and stuff like that. Whatever you may have in your stash, these are the first ones I could find because yes, unfortunately, it's still a mess, my craft room. So I just took out the rainbow colors. So my theme this week, if you haven't guessed already, is going to be rainbow. So I'm just gonna take it and I'm going to take my crayons, of course, make sure they're twisted up. And since there's 6 colors, I'm going to make sure I have enough to do that. So that's kind of what we're doing. And it's okay if you overlap them. It's not going to be that bad of a thing because we're going to go ahead in a few minutes. We're going to take our finger and a little wipe, and a little water, and we're kind of just going to squish them all together and go from there. One thing I like about these crayons, I have a difficult time seeing, and so colors like this don't always look like what they're supposed to, but these actually have what color they are on it. So I was like, oh, that's awesome. So same thing with Distress crayons and stuff like that. They have the name of it on there. So thank you, companies, for doing that, especially for us visually challenged individuals. So next we need blue, and then we're going to go blue and purple, and then we'll go on to the next step. And this one, cap wants to be, a little difficult. Okay, it helps if you grab the right end. And look, it wants to come out. It's like, but that's okay. We'll deal with all the little mishaps and stuff like that. That's the greatness of crafting, right? And of course, that lid wants to go wandering off into the sunset. But no, we got you. All right. So like, definitely let us know in the comments, like what motivated you this week. That's a good starter in terms of, talking about the prompts and stuff like that. And then I also, another piece of the project is, this comes in a kit, a large one. So every week you want to add a element from your project to this bigger card. At the end of the year, you create something that represents each week of the year. If you don't buy a kit and you want one of these, please message me with the email, which will be linked down below. And I'll send you an invoice for $1 because it'll cover a stamp and it'll cover envelope and the card. So, but just make sure you email me so I make sure I have enough, because I don't want to run out on anything. So I'm going to go ahead and just, because these are water-based, so they'll move pretty easily. And so you just blend it the way you want to blend it. And if they mix in together, that's even perfect because it comes a life of its own. Okay, so that's the red and the orange. And you can rub it as much as you want and use as much water as you want. And just be careful, some of the colors can turn into mud, but I am okay with that because it's just basically mixed media, and I'm going to be super upset if there's brown in there, because brown has a color. And that's this, because you're going to have so many moving parts on this card. I mean, that card, well, it's a card, technically it's a playing card, but I'm so used to making greeting cards, so I apologize for the terminology. So there we have our little rainbow going on, and it's like you can always remember it's a background. Don't fall in love with it because we're about to cover it all up, with a whole bunch of yummy goodness. And so with that being said, you put all these crayons away so they don't come flying everywhere. And the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in this silicone mat so it's easier to clean up for me, because I've been using that when I painted the back part of it. So I'm going to go ahead with this stencil from Creative Expressions, and this is Andy Skinner. He's a mixed media artist over in the UK. And I do have some of these in the store. This one's called Spiral Burst. And we're basically just going to place where we kind of want it. And I'm not trying to be perfect, I promise you on that. And I'm just going to go in with a big brush, and I'm going to go with some of that chalk paint. This is the Waverly chalk paint from Walmart. But whatever paint you have will do. I just want to put a thin layer because I want it to be able to dry quickly. So just a dry brush, I'm not putting it in any water. So I'm just going to randomly choose areas of the stencil and just stipple in there. So you have a stipple brush, that's even better. And like I said, I'm not concerned about it being super heavy. The muted is fine for me. It all depends on what you want, You go for the style you want. You can use any kind of color you want. And I'm just lifting up. Okay, cool. And I'm going to go in a little bit more paint. And I'm going to go some up here. Okay. Perfect. And I think that should do me, So in some colors, it'll show up better than others, but that's totally expected. So, and I will wash off that stencil when I'm done. So that's fun. So there we go. We got that. And the next thing I'm going to do and come in with is this stamp set from Creative Expressions, also an Andy Skinner stamp. This is a coffee print. So I'm just going to go in with it. I'm not using a stamp block because I can't find one, number one. So I'm just going to use my hand because I'm not trying to get perfect placement of it. And I am going to come in with some archival ink from Ranger. You can use any kind of archival ink you want, or any other kind of ink you want. It all depends on up to you. I'm just using archival because I'm putting medium on medium, and I don't want things. I'm not inking up the whole thing because, like I said, I'm not really trying to get it to, I'm not sure if that paint's dry, but it should be. And if not, it's okay. I'm gonna go in with a little bit more. I'm just gonna turn, and I'm going to stamp there, and then I'm going to go ahead and stamp up there. See, cool. So it all depends on what you want to do. Like, you can add elements later down the line if that's what you want to do. I'm just going to go ahead and move this out the way as well. Then I'm going to take a sponge and I'm going to ink the edges in archival. You know, this is my first playing card one. So, you know, as you go along, you'll pick up some tips and tricks from your own self, and you'll find styles that better suit you. And the ink in the edges part is just, I think it just brings in the focal point, you know? So whereas it doesn't flow off the page, it kind of makes you stop. It makes the eye look like, oh, it's rainbow. I can't find my letters and numbers right now, but because I wanted to put kind of like that on it to represent something. But we'll find those later. But see how that kind of brings it all in. And if you have a Stabilo pencil, those are perfect to write on top of these mediums. Unfortunately, I do not know where mine is currently at, but that's okay. So I'm just going to go where you can use stickers on here. You can use, you know, whatever you want. Let your creativity flow. I'm gonna try to use this ink pen. I don't think it's gonna work, but we're gonna try. Not really. So, oh, I like that. It kind of scratched the crayon. So that actually is cool. Like, this is a black pen, but it's just scratching the crayon. So see how a happy accident, so to speak. Like, we like it. I would take a Stabilo and just go along, you know, these white sunburst spirals and just highlight them a little bit, you know. That's kind of what I'm doing. So I know this one is not super fancy, but I'm okay with that. I am going to go back and try to add a word or phrase or just something on the front of this. I'm just going to put, I don't know. So, but I'll show you all later in the comments. And make sure you follow us on social media. Definitely follow us on here, YouTube. Subscribe. I'm sorry, that's a tongue twister for me this morning. And like I said, join our group over on Facebook. Follow us on Pinterest and Instagram as well. And then by all means, if you ever have any questions, please reach out and email me or message me, and I'll answer to the best of my ability. So I want to thank you all for joining me today, and I hope to see your projects out there in the social media world. And thank you so much, and you have a crafty day, y'all.